Hi, this is the Roach the Rochia, and I'm here with you to share a video with you about one of the primary races. This is a Democrat, U.S. House District 1 in Utah. This includes the Logan, Ogden, Park City, and Vernal area. Candidates that are running for the Democratic Party nomination are Lee Castillo and Kurt Weiland. I don't have a whole lot of background on Kurt Weiland. Not a lot was available. He's an older gentleman, and he lives, I believe, in the Park City area somewhere, and he is looking to represent the Democrat Party for the U.S. House District 1. Kurt Weiland is a vet, has had many different experiences all throughout his life, and he is quite the storyteller. Actually, that is one of the things that I did take away from watching their debate that they had. Lee Castillo is a social worker. He is from Layton. He is openly gay, and he is a father of an adopted boy. The first topic that was addressed in their debate is the school shootings. Castillo would ban bump stocks, restrict magazines, and close gun show loopholes. That's what he would like to do to help with the school shootings. And what Kurt Weiland says is this is more of an issue of helping with the mental health, and he thinks that we need to increase school counselors to help kids with their mental health. He also thinks this is something that crosses paths with the war on opioids. So he kind of lumps these two in together because he thinks that this is also something that should be addressed with mental health and with counselors at the schools. He thinks this will help a lot with getting those kids to understand their issues and also help with anger and depression and other struggles that kids are having as they move through school. He wants to increase the school counselors so that more school counselors are there and can be readily identified by a school counselor and can be helped by a school counselor, even if those kids don't necessarily know it themselves that they need that help. On healthcare, both candidates were for medical cannabis, and Castillo wanted to make sure that treatment is readily available. He is very adamant that we need to make sure the treatment is readily available to everybody. Weiland, I guess, had some medical problems in England, said that the system there helped him greatly. As I said, he was a storyteller, so he had a whole story that went behind it. And so he favors a system like England has in place, or at least had in place when he was there many, many years ago. So the next issue is the gender gap. Both candidates are for equal pay. Both of them very much agree with that. And both are for maternity and paternity leave for workers. That came up when they were talking about the gender gap. And both of them think that this gap needs to be closed. As I said, they were for equal pay. So then they talked about outreach and whether they're willing to reach across the aisle and also to reach out to Republicans, because this is a very Republican district that they're running in, and whether they would be able to reach out to Republicans and try and get them to come over. Castillo says that he works and is with Republicans a lot. He talks to them often. He knows how to talk to them. He believes that even his family will be a support for him, because even though they would normally vote Republican, they are going to be voting Democrat because they would like to vote for him. Weiland is quite the storyteller, and I think he uses these stories to relate to people, and I think he actually does a fairly decent job of using those stories to relate to people and to find common ground with Republicans and say, okay, well, let's work on this because this we have in common. We both want this. Then they talked a little bit about criminal justice. Both of them would like to end the death penalty in Utah. Well, and I think that they're talking end it federally as well. So they did differ a little bit in criminal justice. The difference in criminal justice is Castillo believes that there is discrimination in the justice system, whereas Weiland does not believe the system is racist or discriminates. Both of them have had experience working in the justice system. And then they talked about national security and cyber attacks by Russia and being able to prevent these cyber attacks. Both of them support the Mueller investigation, continuing and getting to the point where it gets the conclusions. So then they talked about how Washington is fairly divided. Castillo believes that this is a problem where the money is getting in the way and that they need to have ethics reform. Weiland is more along the lines of finding united values, finding things that they can both agree upon and working on those things. The summit with North Korea, both of them agreed that they needed to work towards peaceful solutions through negotiations. Neither one of them want war. Weiland realizes that sometimes war is inevitable. In this area is Hill Air Force Base. It's a base here in Utah and gets military projects there, and it brings in and it helps the economy there at Hill Air Force Base. So the next topic was military projects for Hill Air Force Base. Both of them think that these projects are very important, and neither of them think that these projects are something that's going to go away. They think that this is actually going to continue, and they're quite confident that they could fight and make sure that these things continue. They're both pretty confident that that will work out and that it will be good for their jurisdiction, their district. So the protected lands is the next one. This is an issue that pretty much every Democrat is going to talk about. The protected lands that they are going to be talking about, especially here in Utah, is Bears Ears and the Escalante Staircase National Monument. Both of these candidates think that it was very bad that the Bears Ears National Monument and the Escalante Staircase National Monument is being cut, made much, much smaller. So both of them agree that that is not a good thing, and they both talk about it as actually losing the monuments. Those monuments are not being lost. They are still going to be there, but both of them talked about it as they were being lost. Okay, so then China trade. Both of them want to keep trade with China open. They don't want to put tariffs on China. They want to keep the trade between us and China open. So then I think that it was a comparison between the two, and Castillo says that he is a better defender of public lands and that he would be pushing for clean energy. Weiland was talking about how he would be accessible and he would allow access to Washington. He says that Rob Bishop is not someone that is connected with the people. Finally, they did also talk about immigration. They talked about parents and children being torn apart at the border, as well as talked about developing a pathway to citizenship. Weiland was for a pathway to citizenship, but Castillo says that we should keep the promises that we made to the DACA kids. So that is their whole debate. If I was to vote in this election, I would vote for Weiland. And I would vote for Weiland because he seems like he would be a better candidate and that he would be able to challenge Rob Bishop better than Castillo would. So if you like this video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.